What's going on, everyone? So this offseason has been quite the roller coaster for Keldon Johnson. He has kind of been front and center in all the trade rumors, kind of been the odd man out, right? When starting to being kind of the sixth man, where arguably that's his best role, his best position is just that like vacuum scorer who can just kind of focus at what he does best, with just getting buckets, right? Times you'll see he kind of gets tunnel vision, which makes it hard in a starting lineup when you're trying to, you have guys like Devin Vassell and stuff that you want to have this balanced attack, but to have a guy be a six man off the bench, that's what you're looking for, right? You're looking for a guy to just go be a bucket getter. Think of most of the six men, Lou Williams, and think of Manu Ginobili. Probably not the best example because he did a little bit of everything, but Jordan Clarkson, right? Like these guys are guys that come in, provide that scoring punch when some of your starters and stuff go to the bench. Keldon Johnson can really kind of fill that void, kind of fill that mold. And yet he's been in the front and center talks for trades, not just for anybody, right? They're not just trying to unload Keldon Johnson, but it's been for guys like, Lauri Markkanen. There's been murmurs of like, Jimmy Butler potentially, or Brandon Ingram, right? Guys that would be kind of all-star level, really make an impact on the San Antonio Spurs. But beyond just the trade rumors and all of the noise going on with Keldon Johnson, he's just been quietly, steadily working on his body, working on his quickness, right? His agility. And you've seen the body transformation. You've seen him go from being a little questionable as far as like the weight goes, right? The shape that he's in. He has a nickname that's the big body, right? Like that tells you what you need to know about Keldon Johnson. But he's had this just crazy body transformation, has really slimmed down, lost, I believe, is 33 pounds. And, now he's changing his number. It's kind of a new, fresh start for him. There were some questions about him and Chris Paul, who was going to get the number. Supposedly, Keldon Johnson originally just wanted to keep the number. He even said on a radio show that he was keeping the number. But Greg Popovich reportedly pulled him aside and just said, hey, it's the right thing to do, right? You give it to the vet. You give it to the, this isn't just some random veteran guy. It's Chris Paul, of all people. And so he did it, changed his number to number 0, and now it's kind of this new, fresh beginning for Keldon Johnson. New body, new transformation. We'll see what the impact is with this body transformation to his game. Does it hinder him, right? Like, I don't think it'll hinder him long, but there is that question, right? When you're accustomed to having a specific body type and you play to that body type, and then you have such a drastic body transformation, kind of questions like, is there going to be a little bit of a learning curve? He's not going to be able to bump off guys and, take the contact the way that he was when he had that extra 33 pounds, right? Similar to like Zion, right? You look at Zion Williamson. He's another guy that lost like 40 pounds. Like, you're talking about a guy that's very physical and, it kind of bullies, right? So you're going to be able to bully that way. Keldon Johnson, luckily, is more of just that gifted scorer. And look, when Keldon Johnson is on, he's on with the best of them. But he's in this position now where could he potentially be too good to trade, right? With the new transformation, with the new kind of mindset, changing his number, right? There have been questions about his, his selfishness and, the way he plays. Like, it's not really the Spurs way and whatnot, right? Like, you see his kind of frustrations at times, which, in his defense, right, it's not like he's been on a team that's just winning and has all this talent and stuff, and he's looking at, some of the, Spurs have had some bad players. You're seeing some of these guys just take some ill-advised shots or do silly stuff, and Keldon Johnson's looking at it as like, dude, I would have rather taken that shot. I would have probably gotten the bucket, right? It's the competitive nature, right? But as with all things, there's some guys that you see that, and it's like, man, it's his heart. He's competitive. And other guys you look at and you go, oh, he's selfish. He's this, he's that. So it's always just kind of in the eye of the beholder, so to speak. But Keldon Johnson, look, I like Keldon. I think he's very valuable on pretty much any team in the league, right? Just a guy that go get you 16 to 20 on any given night. He's still only 24 years old. He'll be 25 next month. So plenty of room for growth, development, potential. And the fact that he's taken this so serious, right? The body transformation, it is very possible that the Spurs see his improvement, see his production. Greg Popovich looks at him and just goes, man, like, I got to keep this guy around, right? But in the same breath, you could argue Keldon Johnson is probably your most valuable trade chip for the guys that you could afford to give up. Obviously, Wemby and Castle and Vassell and those guys are your more valuable trade chips, but I'm talking about guys that you can actually give up, right? Like Zach Collins, unless you get a team like the Pelicans that get desperate because they don't have a center, or like, man, we should just go get Zach Collins. He's kind of just like an add-on for salary purposes rather than, a guy that teams are stumbling over themselves to go and acquire, right? But, with Keldon Johnson, I do think he can continue to improve and take some real strides, take some real steps. Obviously, I imagine he's still going to be coming off the bench. Obviously, I imagine, his minutes with Harrison Barnes and Chris Paul and all that stuff, it's going to be interesting to see. Does he play 30 to 32 minutes a game? I mean, there's still always ways to do that. But, his three-point percentage, he's got to get that back up. His three-point percentage after his three-point percentage has kind of been all over the place. His rookie season, he shot almost 60%, but it was on 1.3 attempts. So you don't really get much from that. But then you see the increase in attempts. And again, year 2, it was 33%. Year 3, in the 2021-2022 season, in which he averaged 17 a game, he actually shot 30, almost 40%. I mean, right there. You can't do any better. 39.8% on 5.3 attempts. So was an absolute bucket in that regard, shooting the basketball. And then in the year, he averaged 22 points, which was not last year, the year prior. Three-point range was 32.9%, so 33% from three on 6.5 attempts. And then last year, on 5.3 attempts, shot 35% from three. He's got to get that up. If his three-point percentage can get back up, if he can be at least like 38%, this is a guy that's probably get you 20 off the bench and maybe even be your sixth man, right? He's a guy that rebounds well, right? He's averaged for his career just under 6 rebounds a game. He's a guy that go get you, 16 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, right? Defensively, a little bit of concern, a little bit of an issue. But again, that's why he makes so much sense in that sixth man role where you're looking for him to just go get a bucket. Right? You're looking for him, Vassell's on the bench, maybe Chris Paul's on the bench, and he's just out there like cooking, right? And that's where I think his value really lies. But I do think with his new agility that he's been really working on, his explosiveness, working on that first step and stuff, I do think he has the potential to get back into that like 18 to 22 range again. Again, he averaged 16 a game last season in 69 games. But to him, it's about the minutes, right? He's got to get the minutes. He's got to get the shot attempts. He's got to get the opportunity, which there is a question of how many shot attempts does he get? Now, he averaged 22 a game, right? Not last year, but the previous year, and then 15.7 last year. And some people might attribute that to he went from starting to going to the bench for a majority of the season, but it was also his field goal attempts. He went from 17.7 to 12.5, so he got 5 fewer field goal attempts. Well, now you got Harrison Barnes, now you got Chris Paul, right? Wemby, I imagine, is probably going to take a step and probably going to get more attempts, right? So does Keldon Johnson, is he still able to get that like 12 to 15 range? Now, that's why I would like to see him kind of get back more efficient. Can he, 2-point range is fine. He's 53% from 2-point range. So as long as he can stay in like that 50% range, if he can get his 3-point percentage up, again to 38%, 39%, which he's done it. Again, he had a season in which he averaged 5.4 attempts. And was able to shoot, 5.3 attempts, it was able to shoot just a hair under 40%. Right? So if he can get back to that and be that consistent, reliable three-point shooter, he's going to be in really good shape. Obviously, again, Victor Wembanyama, he's the guy. He's the face. He's the future. He's everything, right? Everything's going to flow through him. But I do believe that Keldon Johnson can put himself in a position to be, one of the primary scoring options, especially if he's improved. Also, does his defense get better? Right? Because now he doesn't have so much weight on him, so he can be more versatile, he can be more shifty. Again, working on his agility, working on his lateral movement. That could go a long way. I do question about the rebounding, right? Like, can he still maintain that 5 to 6 rebounds per game? Just because, again, got a lot of weight, so he's able to kind of take the contact and still be able to go get the rebounds. I'd like to see his assist total go up a little bit. I'm not saying he has to be a 10 assist guy, but could he be a 15, 5, and 5 guy off the bench next year on just better efficiency, right? Start showing that you can do more things. Start showing that you can be a piece alongside Victor, alongside Vassell, alongside these guys, rather than just like, he's kind of a clunky fit. Again, Victor's the guy. You're never going to be the guy. At least on the Spurs. Probably not going to be the guy, period, because I just don't think Keldon's that good. I think he can go get buckets, but, if he can kind of embrace the, hey, let me be the sixth man, let me go get buckets, let me play both sides of the basketball, let me help rebound, let me help make plays and show I can do and be that versatile forward for them, I think he's going to have a lot of success. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you agree with my points? Disagree with my points? Are you excited for Keldon Johnson this upcoming season? Do you have questions about Keldon Johnson this upcoming season? Again, however you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. Lets me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.